everyone, the tide's changing here, and welcome to my first Let's Build episode. So this may be a little shaky, but I'll get better as I make more of these, so hopefully this goes well. And in case you're wondering, I do not actually build this fast. What I did was I recorded a little over an hour of myself building, and then I put it into my video editor, sped it up by 3 times, and I also cut out spots where I just didn't really do anything, like the mouse just stayed in the same spot, because I figured, no one really wants to see me do nothing. So yeah, and the reason that I did this is because personally I find it hard to watch an hour of just someone building real time because it's kind of slow, and by doing that I feel the pressure to not, like, sometimes I like to stop and think about what I'm doing, and if I'm recording in real time then I feel it kind of like messes with my way of building and prevents me from being more detailed. So this way you can see me be as detail oriented as I usually am, so I can just focus on building while I'm doing that. So, hopefully you guys like this, and this can also make the episodes go by quicker and flow a little bit better. And I will say that I did not come up with this idea on my own. I actually saw that, where Krill Sims 3 did this in his Let's Build videos, and I thought it was a genius idea and a good way to compromise between being able to let people see everything I do when I build and also having a video that is well paced and easy to watch. So hopefully you guys like this way. And so what I just did there was I wanted to put this building on a foundation, but I didn't want to be the normal, 4-step above the ground foundation. So what I did was I made it so it was 1 step above the ground, and to do this you just make a hill that is a lot higher than the foundation and start the foundation on ground level, just drag it over and it will level the ground, so it's just 1 step level below. And I do this so there's a slight foundation, but you can kind of toy around with the ground under the building to give a more realistic look, because normally houses aren't built on completely flat ground. And I should actually go on to what we're actually going to be building in the series. So this isn't really a house per se. It's actually going to be an apartment building, not a high-rise apartment building obviously, but a 2-floor 8-unit type apartment. Your Sims will of course only have access to 1 unit. The rest of it will be hidden room markers or public room markers. And I thought this was good because for my Let's Build it's not something overly complicated, but it's also not too simple, and I thought people would be interested in learning how to make their own apartment complex. So yeah, I hope you guys like this idea. And right now I'm just kind of outlining the basic, coming up with the outline through the foundation of it. And something I should say is that for my builds I tend to get inspiration from floor plans. And usually I just find something that I like and I kind of tweak it a bit, make things work in the game and make changes where I see fit. And I'll probably put a link to the one I looked at that, inspired this build. And I don't know why, but I feel kind of bad admitting that. But, I guess bringing floor plans, trying to build floor plans from real life into a Sims game is a challenge in itself. And I guess it's something that not everyone's good at. It does take some practice to kind of get things to look to scale. And something that's helpful is, so when I'm trying to figure out like what 1 square in the game is in feet, this may sound like a really weird number to use, but I go by 2.58 feet per square, which I was actually reading the forums and someone did some math and they were like, oh yeah, I think this is about what it is. And I was using 3 feet, but I found that when saying that 1 square, assuming 1 square is 3 feet, that things just kind of felt too small. But then if you go with 2 feet, things end up too big. So I find that somewhere between, assuming a square is somewhere between 2 and 3 feet, kind of, makes it seem right. And yeah, so as you can see, I made the outline of the first floor, and yeah, and then I kind of realized that I really only need 1 staircase because that whole area that's other than the garages are the 4 enclosed rooms, and the rest of that area will just be a hidden room marker, so you won't even see any of that. So yeah, I'm not used to just talking to my computer. Um, yeah, and this video is actually longer than I really intended these to be. I really want them to be between 10 and 15 minutes. Ideally closer to 10 minutes, and this one ended up being 20 minutes, which, I don't know, it's kind of hard to figure out stuff to talk about for 20 minutes. So yeah, they will be quicker after this. I just wanted, there was a certain point I wanted to get to, so I lost track of time. I just kind of kept building until I got to that point. Yeah, so here what I'm doing is, since it's on a foundation, I have to make it so I can put the garage doors in. So what you do that is you delete the foundation under the garage, and then you use the go to constraint floor elevation false sheet. As you can see there, I'm just kind of building the walls under there, making them full height so I can put the garage doors in, and then you go up to the next level and just flatten it. So yeah, so that way the second floor is still the regular height. And then you can just stick the garage doors in. Which, yeah, and that didn't look right. So then I just went ahead and just made the garage is 4 tiles wide. And while I'm doing this, something that I should say is that, in case you're wondering, this was not recorded with the in-game recorder. I actually used software called Open Broadcast Software, which is completely free and open source, and actually, as you can see, it records really good quality. It's really easy to use. So I know I've heard a lot of people use Fraps, and I looked into it, and realized it was like $40, and I really didn't want to spend that money, since I figured there was a decent free video recorder for games out there somewhere. And through a Google search, I stumbled across this program, and it took a lot of fiddling around. Like, this is kind of bad, but I spent like 3 hours. I was up to like 3 in the morning this past weekend one night just fiddling around with the program, because I got it to record in really good quality, but everything was just completely dim, and I didn't want to give up on it because it was such good quality and it was free, and I did not want to spend money. And turns out I fiddled with every setting but the brightness slider, because, who would have thought the brightness slider would make things brighter. Well, in my defense, it was called the gamma slider. But yeah, so that was it. I guess I'll put a link to the program in the description in case anyone wants a nice free program to record with. And yeah, here I'm just kind of doing the same thing over on the other side. Yeah. Yeah, this is why I'd rather make the videos 10 minutes, because I've got like 12 more minutes, then I have to figure out what to talk about. But yeah, like I said, just bear with me, and I will get better at these videos as I go on. And yeah, let me know what you think about this method of doing it. I personally prefer it because I can really concentrate on building and doing a good job of that while I'm in the game. And yeah, I'm sorry if I'm not really describing everything enough, but hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. But yeah, so now the garages are done. They've got the garage doors in there, and unfortunately, I think about the last 10 minutes of the video is me fiddling around with the roof. And I thought about editing parts of it out, where I just redid things, but then I was like, no, I should show the entire building process, including my goofs, because I did the roof, and then I would delete it, and then do a bunch of stuff, and then realize, no, I don't like any of that, and then just undo and go back to what I had, and then, yeah. So you'll see some of that coming up. Yeah, and so you can see here, I've got the main roof over the house and over the garage is on the one side, and yeah, so that's gonna be like the little walk-in area, where you, I guess yeah, that's the apartment that's actually gonna be inhabited. So that's gonna be the little porch that you walk in to get upstairs, and a nice feature about this is that each apartment, so the ones on the bottom floor have their own little patio that you walk into the apartment off of, and then the top floor there is a nice balcony. And I chose to make the units on the top floor the unit one of the ones on the top floor because it'd be a little bit bigger since you don't have the garage, and also you get the nice balcony. And I made it in the back because it was a little more private. Not that Sims really care about that. I mean, they don't care if you stick a giant window in the bathroom because Sims don't care about privacy unless someone walks in the bathroom while they're using it. But yeah, the roof frustrated me so much. Like, I don't know why the game is so glitchy with the roofs. Like, I would put them in, and then there'd just be this little brown line, I guess, where you can kind of see through it, and I would just fiddle around with it, and it wouldn't go away, and it frustrated me, and so that's why, yeah, so the roof was about 10 minutes in this video, but I guess really that means I spent about half an hour on the roof, which is longer than I would usually spend on this type of a roof, but I was trying to get it to look not boring because it's such a big building that I didn't want it to look boring. So yeah. But I think it turned out pretty well, so you'll see in the end. And I think the general like outline of this is looking pretty good. It'll look a lot better once, I get the windows and the paint on it and do the landscaping. And I'm excited to see the final product of this. And I hope you guys are too, and that you like learning how to make your own apartment from scratch. Yeah, and I'm really sorry that I'm kind of running out of things to say because I can only say so many things about the roof of my house. But yeah, I figure if I was recording this at the time I was doing it, then I feel like I would forget to talk. Like, there would just be long spaces where I'm just not saying anything because I find it even harder to try and come up with stuff to say while I'm actually focused on building. But yeah, so now I'm just kind of tweaking things. And yeah, I was just making the porches and the balconies a little bit bigger, and yeah, those columns won't be there in the end, which, I mean, I hope it's kind of obvious that I am not going to have those in the house at the end. I feel like this microphone is probably picking up my clock ticking in the background. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think I redid parts of this roof so many times. Like I said, I was just so tempted to edit it out or speed it up anymore. But I figured, maybe people, maybe want to see the whole entire process. Yeah, I don't know what I was doing there. That obviously did not look good at all. Oh yeah, see, yeah, okay, I just deleted it, but you can kind of see what I was talking about with the glitchiness right there. Yeah, so I may so the floor plan is a little more of a traditional. I may actually give it more of a Mediterranean flair just because it's in Starlight Shores. And I forgot to mention where this is in Starlight Shores is actually a 60 by 60. It was a community lot. It was where my game plopped down the equestrian center. So I just kind of deleted that and made it into a residential lot and just built this on it. I think it's somewhere near the little Simlish Hollywood sign or whatever it is. Yeah, so if once this is complete, I'll probably put it up for download, in case anyone wants to know where in the game this was put. Although I think it should be good on any 60 by 60 or bigger lot. So you could probably just stick it on a 64 by 64 and it'll be fine. And here's some more readjusting. And I think this is what I ended up leaving it at, or well, not that, but so that's kind of how I left that part of the roof. And yeah, I really apologize that I'm kind of struggling to come up with stuff to say, and I know I've said this a bunch of times, but I'm having trouble coming up with stuff to talk about for 20 minutes, especially since the last 10 minutes of this is the roof. And yeah, you can see the annoying glitchiness, like with that, it drove me nuts. This is why it took so long, because I just was trying to get rid of those damn beige, like, just, I guess it's where you can see through it, kind of, but I just got so frustrated with this when I was doing this last night. Yeah, and here, just to add a little flair, because I felt like the roof was a little boring, putting in some dormers. So I thought that would be a nice touch. So my next video will probably be just me doing the windows and doors and the outside painting. Depending on how long it takes, like I said, I do want to keep the next video a bit shorter. So yeah, I think it looks pretty good so far. And yeah, so here I'm just adding another dormer to the back of the house, and I didn't want it to be too symmetrical, so I made just one, and it's a bit wider than the ones in the front. And yeah, I think this is gonna turn out well. I hope it does, and I hope you guys like my choice in what to do for this. Yeah, the whole roof process drove me nuts. Yeah, so there we go, and here is just kind of a slower look at what we have so far. Yeah, so thanks for watching this, and I'm really sorry that there's just bits where I ran out of stuff to talk about. I'll make these shorter in the future, so yeah. Thanks for watching. Bye.